Hey fourth grade students, this is our 6th week of learning our string instruments. So we're here for lesson video 6. What are we learning today? We're going to be learning a new tune that's called Boil Dem Cabbage Down. It's a fiddle song. Before we get there, we're going to review some of our older songs like the Ant Song, Dad Song, and our very important D scale, which we learned last week in lesson 5. So if you didn't get a chance to watch lesson 5 yet, I'm going to ask you to stop the video now, pause, take a moment, watch lesson 5, and make sure you learn your D scale pattern before you move further. If you're ready to move on, let's do it. Please check the timestamps below to see when your lesson starts for today. Hey violinists, you're in the right spot if you are here for lesson video 6. Just double checking that you did get the chance to watch lesson video 5 before you move on. If you haven't watched 5 yet, I'm going to ask you to please stop what you're doing and go and watch 5 before you move on. When you're ready, let's come into playing position in 3, 2, 1. Instruments on the shoulder. And let's start with just our monster fingers, nice rounded finger shape here. And we're going to warm up with our Ant Song, which is a song that we've known for the longest. We play it every single time we pick up our instruments. Anchor the thumb, starting on E. Let's sing and play the Ant Song. Ready, set, and go. Eek, eek, eek. Look at all the ants, 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 digging in the dirt, 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 going underground, ground, ground. Please go to rest position. Let's give our instruments a hug. Thank you, instrument. Next song for our warm-up is going to be our Dad Song. Don't forget to sniff and do a little gentle lift to show that internal musical pulse at the end of each line. Playing position in 3, 2, 1. Instrument is up and back on the shoulder. Monster fingers, elbow, wrist, pinky in one straight line. Anchor your thumb and find your D string. Dad Song with a sniff at the end of each line. Ready and go now. D, A, D, D, A, D. Go to rest position. Thank you for feeling that internal musical pulse by sniffing during the rest and lifting your body gently. Next, we're going to review our D scale. That is our series of notes that starts on open D. We add fingers until we get to our high D. So let's just quickly review the finger numbers for the D scale before we play it. We play 0, open D, then first finger, E, second finger, F sharp, 3 fingers, G. We've run out of fingers, so now we go to our open A, first finger B, 2 fingers C sharp, and 3 fingers high D. All right, let's put that onto the instrument. Playing position in 3, 2, 1. Instrument is up and back. Slide your hand back. And let's make sure we're rounding our fingers down as we land them, and our elbow, wrist, pinky are in one straight line. Hover your first finger over the D string. So it's hovering but not landed down yet. Let's play our D scale 2 times on each note. Please play each note twice. Ready and go now. D, E, feast. G, open A, B, cease, high D. Very good. Go to rest position. Let's shake off our hands, shake the water droplets off of our hands. Make sure you play your D scale every time you go to practice your instrument. I would say play it at least 3 times in a row to warm up, check your posture, really listen to the sound of your instrument. Now, on to our new song. Our new song for lesson 6 is called Boiled and Cabbage Down. It's a traditional fiddle tune. I will probably just refer to it as Cabbage. So if you hear me say, let's play Cabbage, I'm referring to this tune. Cabbage is the last song in our packet number 1, our first packet that's on Google Classroom. Now might be a really good time to pause the video, open up that packet on Google Classroom, and follow along while you're practicing at home. If you're ready to move on, let's do so. Let's sing together the letter names for the Cabbage song, which is going to be starting on Fees, 2 fingers on the D string. It goes like this. Sing the letters with me. Fees, 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 G, 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 fees, 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 E, 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 fees, 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 G, 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 fees, fees, E, E, D, D, D. So if you saw me playing along, just fingering along silently, you saw that I was doing G with 3 fingers and E with first finger and D was open. So there's no need to play your open E and no need to play your open G and no need to play your high D. In other words, Boiled and Cabbage Down uses notes that are only on the D string. Those letters are only notes on the D string. Let's go to playing position and try it together. 3, 2, 1. Instruments on the shoulder, sitting up nice and tall. Rounded left hand fingers starting on F sharp. So your 2 fingers are going to compress the D string all the way down. After that, 3 fingers. Let's play Boiled and Cabbage Down. Starting on F sharp. Ready and go now. G. 3 fingers not open. Fees. E, first finger, not your open E. Go to rest position. Let's shake that out. The last line is different. The last line of the song, fees, fees, E, E, D, 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 rest. Can we do just that last line together on our instruments right now? Come to playing position. Fees, fees, E, E, D, D, D. Ready and go now. One more time, just that last line to notice that it's different from the rest. Ready and go now. E, D. Go to rest position. So that's your Cabbage song. It's a fiddle tune. Now, if you are up for a challenge, you want to bump up the excitement level and you're ready to try something new, maybe a little bit difficult, we can play it in more of a fiddle style by touching the D and A strings at the same time. You're going to need to really make a nice tall tunnel with your fingers like we've learned how to do. Make sure no finger is touching. It's not going to graze against the A string. Make sure none of the fingers here are grazing against the A string. Tall tunnel. But you can pluck the notes of Cabbage and also pluck your open A simultaneously. If you want to try that at home, it would be for an extra challenge and it would sound like this. A little bit more of a fiddle style. Make sure nothing's touching my open A. Make a nice tall tunnel. Maybe swing my right elbow towards my belly button more. So that might be for those of you who are looking for a little extra zest, a little extra spice to your violin lessons. You can try playing simultaneously the fingered notes on the D string and touching and plucking your open A at the same time. That's it for lesson 6. I hope that you are having fun learning your instrument and remembering that I do not expect perfection. Learning is messy. All I'm asking is that you are trying your best and showing up to the best of your ability each week. I look forward to seeing you next time. Happy practicing. Hey cellists, welcome to your 6th lesson video for this year. I want to remind you, if you have not had a chance to watch lesson video 5, I'm going to ask you to please stop now, pause where we are, go watch lesson 5, and then join us when you're ready. Because lesson 5 covers the D scale, which is so important. I don't want anybody to skip over that. If you're ready to move on, let's do it. We're going to warm up with our Ants song. Make sure you're sitting tall, bring the cello to you, anchor your thumb to the fingerboard, and we'll start with our ants. Ready, and go now. Ants, 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 digging in the dirt, 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 going underground, ground, ground, all the way to China, China, China. Rest position. Next warm-up song, I'd love to do the dad song. Find your D string, please. Anchor thumb, find D. Remember to sniff and maybe lift your head a little bit at the end of the line during the rest to feel that pulse. Ready, and go now. D, A, D, D, A, D. Go to rest position. Let's shake our hands off, shake the water droplets off of our fingers, maybe rock a little bit back and forth with your cello. And sitting tall. Next is going to be our D scale. And I want to make sure that all of my students really master the D scale before we move too much further. You should warm up with the D scale every time you take out your instrument to play. You should play your D scale probably at least 3 times in a row each time before you play. This is a way for you to check your posture, settle into your instrument, and really listen to the sound that you're making. Let's bring our left hand to the fingerboard, Coke can hand, thumb behind second finger, and let's just remind ourselves, how do we play our D scale? We go D, D, E, E, then 3 fingers, F's, F's, G, G. We've run out of fingers, so now we go to our open A, first finger B, B, cease, cease or C sharp, and then D, D. That last note with your 4 fingers on the A string is not your open D. It's what we call high D. Let's try playing the scale together. We're going to play each note 2 times in a row. Coke can hand. Hover your first finger. Ready, and go now. D, E, F sharp, G, 4 fingers, open A, B, C sharp, high D. Shake it off, hands in your lap. Just as a reminder, make sure you play that D scale at least 3 times as your warm-up every time you go to take out your cello and play. Now on to our new song for this week. The new song is called Boiled and Cabbage Down. I usually call it Cabbage for short. You can find Boiled and Cabbage Down in our packet on Google Classroom. It's in packet number 1. Now is a good time to pause this video, pull up that packet, and maybe have it side by side while you're practicing. If you're ready to move on, let's do that. Let's finger along, just fingering on the fingerboard the letter names that we see for Boiled and Cabbage Down. And let's sing our letter names together. Starting with F's. Ready, and sing now. Fis, 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 fis. G, 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 G. Fis, 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 fis. E, 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 E. Fis, 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 fis. G, 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 G. Fis, fis. E, E, D, D, D. Shake it off. Notice that all the notes that I was fingering along with were notes on the D string. So there's no open G in this song. It's going to be a fingered G. There's no high D in this song. It's going to be an open D. So Cabbage uses notes that are only on the D string. Let's try playing it out loud together. Coke can hand, starting with three fingers, all three fingers rounded down, sinking down towards the fingerboard. Ready, and go now. G, back to F sharp. E, F sharp. G, four fingers. And then this is like hot cross buns. E, open D. Shake it off. Let's try just the last part of the song where the pattern changes. We play notes 2 or 3 times in a row instead of 4. Can you play with me, please? Fis, fis, E, E, D, D, D. It's the last part of the song. Ready, and go now. One more time, just that much. We're just noticing that that's different. It's a different pattern. Ready, and go now. Good, hands down. That's your new song for this week. It's called Boiled and Cabbage Down. It uses only notes on the D string. Now, if you're looking for a little bonus, a little extra challenge, I'm going to offer something for you that's optional. Because Cabbage is a traditional fiddle tune, fiddling usually does this technique called double stops where you're going to play 2 or more strings at the same time. It gives it more of like a rustic or chord style sound. So I'm going to offer for you to try this at home. You can play the left hand fingers for Boiled and Cabbage Down, just as I showed you. But you can also simultaneously pluck your open A. You're going to need to make a nice tall tunnel. Make sure nothing is touching the open A. It would sound like this if you want to try it at home. And actually, we would strum it. We would take our thumb and strum from our D string over to our A string. So a little different style of pizzicato. I'm starting my thumb on D. So I'm starting from the D string. So maybe you want to try that at home for a little bonus, a little extra challenge. Again, I was putting my thumb on D and then pulling across to touch the D first and then the A. And starting on F sharp, I would touch the D string. So I want to offer that for anybody who is looking for a little bonus, a little extra challenge. Thank you so much for doing the work of keeping up with watching these videos and practicing your cello very diligently on your own at home. Happy practicing, and I look forward to seeing you next time.